Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. We are on chapter 7, text 119. We have been reading about the different energies of Krishna. So we have been reading the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and we will continue to read. In this verse from the Vishnu Puran, the total energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is classified in 3 divisions, namely the spiritual or internal potency of the Lord, the marginal potency or Kshetragya, the living entity, and the material potency, which is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and appears to act independently. So Vishnu Puran says that God has 3 energies. Well, God has unlimited energies, but they are put it in these 3 categories. One is the spiritual internal potency, Krishna's internal energy. The second is the marginal energy, that is us, we, the living entity, the Kshetragya. And the third is the material energy or the separated energy, that is what we see here manifest around us. This is the material energy. She appears to act independently, but she is not independent. She's just a separated energy of the Supreme Lord. To give an example, Srila Prabhupada gave an example that the dictaphone, he's recording his voice in the dictaphone, and when the recorded voice is played, it plays his own voice, but it's not him talking anymore, but it's his voice. Why? Because it's recorded there. So that's his separated energy. So when Srila Vyasadeva, by meditation and self-realization, saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he also saw the separated energy of the Lord standing behind him. Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chatad Apashrayam. Vyasadeva also realized that it is this separated energy of the Lord, the material energy, that covers the knowledge of the living entities, yayas sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. So, Srila Vyasadeva, he compiled all the Vedas, he compiled the Vedanta Sutra, he had recorded the Puranas, the Upanishads, everything he had written, but he was not feeling happy. So his guru, Narad Muni, came to him, and Vyasadeva told him, I'm not happy at all. I don't know, I've done so much for mankind. I've done all this compiling the Vedas for their good. I divided it into 4 divisions. I've done so much, yet I don't feel satisfied. I don't know why. So Narad Muni told him, it's because you have not given what is the most beneficial, and that you did not describe the glories of the Supreme Lord. You did not describe the glories of devotional service. So you need to do that. And that's the reason Srila Vyasadeva wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam. This is completely describing the glories of the Supreme Lord, the glories of the devotees, the glories of devotional service. So before he started writing the Bhagavatam, he meditated on the Supreme Lord, and he could see the Supreme Lord in front of him. And next to the Supreme Lord, he could see Maya Devi. And he could understand is that because of this Maya Devi, who's the separated energy of the Lord, behind Krishna, he could see Maya Devi is there, standing. And Vyasadeva could understand that this Maya Devi is who is covering our knowledge of the living entities. Because our knowledge is covered, we are thinking we are the body. We have forgotten our true identity as eternal loving servitors of God. And this covering of our knowledge is due to Krishna's separated energy, Maya Devi. The separated material energy bewilders the living entities, jivas. And thus they work very hard under its influence, not knowing that they're not fulfilling their mission in life. We pick up this ism and that ism, and we take up one cause and another cause, and we put so much time and energy and effort in it. We identify ourselves with that cause, but we completely forget. We have completely forgotten that we are not this body, that we are spirit souls, that this material world is not our home, it's not our permanent home. In our passport, they write down permanent residence. What is our permanent residence? It's in the spiritual world. That we have forgotten. So all this is happening because Maya Devi has covered our knowledge. Unfortunately, most of them think that they are the body and should therefore enjoy the material senses irresponsibly, since when death comes, everything will be finished. This atheistic philosophy also flourished in India, where it was sometimes propagated by Charvaka Muni. So Charvaka Muni also propagated this atheistic philosophy. Do whatever you want, but you enjoy your senses. This is atheism, saying that you're just the body, you're going to die. After you give up the body, is nothing, you're zero, there's nothing happening, so you enjoy your senses. This is not a right theory. This is an atheistic theory. Rinam kritva ghritam pibet yavad jivet sukham jivet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kuta punar agamano bhavet. His theory was that as long as one lives, one should eat as much ghee as possible. In India, ghee, clarified butter, is a basic ingredient in preparing many varieties of food. So before, now we barely cook in ghee. But before, all food used to be prepared in ghee in Vedic time. So Charvaka Muni used to say, eat as much ghee as you can. You have money, you don't have money, you just eat in ghee. Since everyone wants to enjoy nice food, Charvaka Muni advised that one eat as much ghee as possible. One may say, I have no money. How shall I purchase ghee? Charvaka Muni, however, says, if you have no money, then beg, borrow, or steal. But in some way secure ghee and enjoy life. You don't have money, you borrow it and enjoy life. You don't have money, you beg and you enjoy life. You don't have money, you steal and you enjoy life. This is the philosophy. For one who further objects that he will be held accountable for such unauthorized activities as begging, borrowing, and stealing, Charvaka Muni replies, you will not be held responsible. As soon as your body is burned to ashes after death, everything is finished. So someone may argue, you're telling us beg, borrow, or steal, we are going to be implicated in sinful reactions, But he's like, no, don't worry about it. As soon as your body gets burnt, all your reactions are also burned out, You're not responsible for anything. This is ignorance. This is called ignorance. From Bhagavad Gita, it is understood that one does not die with the annihilation of his body. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So we are not going to die when we give up this body. It's not that we don't exist anymore. The soul is eternal. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. The annihilation of one body involves changing to another. Tatha dehantar praptihi. So what does it mean, death? That means we are going to change one body, give up this body, and take up another body. That is our position. That body, the new body which we take up, may be a spiritual body or a material body, but we have to take up another body. We are going to continue to exist, whether in the material world or spiritual world. It's not that we cease to exist anymore after we give up this body. No. Therefore, to perform irresponsible activities in the material world is very dangerous. Without knowledge of the spirit soul and its transmigration, people are allured by the material energy to engage in many such activities, as if one could become happy simply by dint of material knowledge without reference to spiritual existence. Therefore, the entire material world and its activities are referred to as avidya karma samjnaya, that it's completely ignorant when we are only wanting to cultivate material knowledge. It's completely ignorant. The entire material world, all the activities in the material world are completely based on ignorance. Why? Because we are thinking I am the body. And based on that, we are doing all the activities. So the starting point is itself ignorance. What is the ignorance? That I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm eternal part and parcel of Krishna. That is correct knowledge. But because we are in ignorance, thinking we are the body, then all the activities that we do for the bodies, they are completely in ignorance. That's the reason we need to understand about God. We need to hear about God so that our ignorance can be dissipated, that we can get the true knowledge. Is that okay? We'll stop here for today and continue with the purport tomorrow. Are there any, there's just these 2 paragraphs here. Okay, so let's continue. In order to dissipate the ignorance of the human beings who work under the material energy, which is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord comes down to revive their original nature of spiritual activities. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita that whenever people get too ignorant, he comes himself. He comes to give us this knowledge, the pure knowledge that we living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. As soon as they deviate from their original nature, the Lord comes to teach them, Sarva Dharman Parityagya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. My dear living entities, give up all material activities and simply surrender unto me for protection. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66. So Krishna comes. He's kind, he's loving, and he comes to remind us that, hey, you're not the body, you belong to me. You are my eternal part and parcel. You give up all these material activities and you surrender to me. Krishna does not force us. He gives us the knowledge. The choice is ours. It is the statement of Charvaka Muni that one should beg, borrow, or steal money to purchase ghee and enjoy life. Nirnam kritva gratam pibet. Thus, even the greatest atheist of India recommends that one eat ghee, not meat. No one should conceive of human beings eating meat like tigers and dogs. But men have become so degraded, they are just like animals and can no longer claim to have a human civilization. So Prabhupada is saying that Charvaka Muni, the greatest atheist, he's the one who's starting this atheism philosophy that after you die, you don't have a body anymore. Even he is saying eat ghee. He's not saying eat animals, because eating animals is a very grievous type of sin. Very, very grievous. It's no longer can claim to be human beings when we do that. So we should refrain from committing these sinful activities. Are there any questions or comments? No, then we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.